Welcome to the Paradox, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are back again. They can't stop us, Chris. They can't stop us. They know we're coming in hot every week with takes on AEW versus NXT, baby. We are here. Yes, it is the Wednesday Night War recap. Woo! Chris, we are starting off with AEW tonight, right, sir?
With a bang. A banger. Probably the best Dynamite that they've put out from beginning to end.
Did you see Penelope Ford?
Did I? I had to pause it, and I had to go to the bathroom.
Multiple times.
Not because of that. I actually had to go to the bathroom.
great spot to pause it at. I'm sure Crystal walked
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, so here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It is the review show, and tonight we open up. We have Chris Jericho on commentary. Man, I tell you what, I get a little excited every time I see him come out. He's so fun to watch on commentary. He's good to listen to, and he kept saying meat and potatoes last night. It got me really hungry. He's like, give him the meat and potatoes. Give him the meat and potatoes. I'm like, I want meat and potatoes, Ma.
What's great is what I love is the banter that he has with Tony Schiavone. He calls him Skiervone. It's the best. He's been doing that for 20 years, and it's the best.
I know. I remember it on Monday Night Nitro. Chris Jericho's always been the greatest person to mess up names and just he would make it so great. And it was always fun to watch him just like mess up everybody's name.
Shut up, Skiervone.
All right. So we open up with Jericho on commentary, and then we get a recap. We get the Butcher and the Blade tonight versus Fear the Revolt, formerly known as the Revival.
Well, technically, Fear the Revolt isn't their name. It could be Fear the Revolution, Fear the Revolt, or For the Real. That's what they said last week during that.
They just need to be happy that I'm not saying fuck the Revival anymore. Okay, I'm loving them in AEW. They look like brand new guys. They're coming out hot. That truck they ride in every week, I get pumped watching their entrance. I'm like, yo, Dash is about to kick some ass in that ring tonight, man. He's looking great, man. Really is.
You know what's great is when they get out, they wear those like old vinyl jackets. It's so 80s.
It really is. It really is. That's why Tully loves them. That's why Arn loves them. Everybody who's in the Four Horsemen is a fan of the Revival right now. Mm-hmm. They are that old school, like, just they know how, like I said it a couple weeks ago, I'll say it again. The most important part of a tag team is cutting off the ring, and they do that better than everybody.
Well, actually, I think both teams did it last night.
Oh man, Butcher and the Blade, they are really coming into themselves lately. Mm-hmm. Really. So it was a good match. We had Dax start off the match with Blade. Mm-hmm. Jericho marking out to JR while he was on commentary was great. Just the whole match, I kept catching it here and there. And he said some like little what do you call him? He called the Blade a guitarist. And
he's like, no, he's a bassist.
He's a bass player. He's a bassist. That guy say racist? No, he said bassist. Calm down. Jesus, we're not going to do it to JR. We know he's 70. It's okay. We're keeping him on TV. But no, man.
Snassel fries.
It's fun. It's fun to hear Jericho on there. So, but no, yeah, you had the Butcher and the Blade. Solid match. Really felt like an old school match to me.
No flips or high spots.
None.
Old school hard-nosed wrestling.
Dude, when Butcher it's Blade, when Blade gets in the ring and he starts like walking on his knees, dude, he looks like such a fucking Viking.
No, that's the Butcher.
That's the Butcher.
The big guy. Yeah, the Butcher's the big guy.
Dude, he's good. He's good. He could definitely he's one of those characters I think he could break off on his own from a tag team and really he could succeed. I like him.
I mean, no homo, but the Blade looks really good. Like he's like in the best physique in all of wrestling right now.
Yes.
Right? I mean it's I don't think anyone in wrestling right now has his physique.
I don't know, Cesaro. Cesaro's a monster.
Yeah, but as cut as he is, he's like really defined, you know. I don't know if it's with all the spray tanner that he had on last night and the oil, but it was like he was just like really defined, and like, that was like the first thing that came to mind. I was like trying to compare him to like anyone that's has his physique in other companies like WWE, like main roster Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. I don't think anyone has that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, the team has from cutting in the ring to jumping on. I believe it was Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Cody at the time that they jumped on their debut?
Yeah.
From cutting the ring to now, they are definitely a lot more fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
They're putting something together, and like they ruined. Okay, look, so they debuted in like Wichita or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's an exaggeration, people. I'm sorry if you could be like, hey, that guy's an asshole. It's not where they debuted. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know where they debuted, but it wasn't in Buffalo, and that was the issue. If they would have saved their debut for Buffalo, that crowd would have popped so much harder because that's where they're from. They're
Right.
from that area. That's where they wrestled their shows. And who are the people that go to AEW shows? Not mainstream fans. No, your AEW show consists of, although like they call them SuperCon wrestling fans,
Right.
but those people who go to those house shows that aren't WWE, that they go to those shows and support those lower wrestlers. So when they do come up to a main roster like Butcher and the Blade did, that crowd could have seen them and been like, we know who that is. They're awesome, And instead we got, you seen that shit? Man, now there's a hole in the ring. There's like an hour left of this fucking, what's wrong with these guys? That's what they got.
It was like a Christmas present that was unwrapped too early on Christmas morning, and then your mom just like rewrapped it.
Yeah. Yo, where was the bunny? Where's the bunny been? That's Allie. She's with QT Marshall now, right?
That's actually on my notes when we get to that promo. Like,
okay, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead. I just didn't know I didn't know if that was important enough to cross, but it hit my mind last night. They said that's Allie, and I'm like, what? Allie? Wait, wasn't that the bunny like a week ago?
Especially when Tony Schiavone goes, "Who's Allie?"
Are you gonna start calling him that now every time?
Especially when Schiavone goes, "Who's Allie? Who's this Allie cat?" It's like, I'm like, come on, man. Like, whatever. I don't get it, man. They're trying to play for it. But, I mean, I thought it was a great match. Old school finish with the spike pile driver. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that mind
so
buster.
Awesome.
That's what it's called, the mind buster. That was very nice, very old school finishing move. These guys, we keep saying the word old school. They are what, and I like how they come in, and they mentioned it last night in the match that they said, FTR doesn't have any friends in this business or in this company. They don't really have any friends. Mm-hmm. And that's, I remember the Young Bucks and FTR always going at it on Twitter or, at smaller shows, you would hear about it a lot. So to see them actually get over there, and I know Cody was a big fan of the whole fuck revival movement, fuck the revival. So it's funny to see them now working for Cody.
Right. Yeah. It also is what made me pop during the match was when Jericho made that comment about, in their
meat and potatoes.
No.
Sorry, go ahead.
When he made that comment about in other organizations or something, like they were held down, like they didn't get to rise to their full potential. I think that was. I mean, he's not wrong. Not wrong at all. I mean, they wanted to make him a comedy gimmick after they couldn't get the revival over. So it's I'm glad they're at where they're at, because if they would have went somewhere else like ROH or MLW when they would, when they get back to wrestling, I think they would have faltered. They still would have been the top tag team, but like those organizations only grow as far as their ceiling is so low. It's like you can't grow as that far.
I was about to say, does an FTR really change the landscape if they go to ROH? Does that kind of push ROH a little more further, or does that kind of like just keep them where they're at?
It just keeps them where they're at because there's no one else for them to grow off of.
True.
Like there's so many tag teams.
You mean Cheeseburger and Moose aren't going to like the pinnacle of that spot?
Okay, you haven't watched ROH in a while.
Wait, are they neither in ROH anymore?
No, Cheeseburger, but Moose is in Impact.
Wrestling in a barn? Yeah, that's where a black guy needs to be in 2020.
Oh, here we go.
I'm sorry. It's not that type of show. This is a family show. Fuck, man.
Well, after the match, you get the interview with FTR and Tony Schiavone, and it gets interrupted by the Young Bucks. and the
Yes,
Bucks get jumped by Butcher and the Blade. Kip Sabian and Havoc come out. I don't understand
I
that.
didn't. That's what I put. That's what I put there. I said, and now we have Omega and Page and Havoc and Sabian out there. What the fuck?
Right.
I don't get it. Why?
This must be turning into a like a triple threat tag match, like between FTR, Young Bucks, and Havoc and Sabian.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Probably
You
at
know,
Fyter
I
Fest. Oh, and by the way, by Fyter Fest, you were complaining last week that it was going to go up against the first night of basketball. It's actually not. First night of basketball is July 31st. This is Fyter Fest is July 1st and the 8th.
oh shit, they robbed me another month. I thought we were coming up in like 2 weeks for basketball. I was ready. I was hyped.
No, well, basketball, the training camp, like that little tournament to get into the playoffs, starts on the 1st, and I don't know.
That's
I don't know if it's gonna be uh, uh on prime time. I think it's gonna be only on NBA TV.
wait. So that's to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's like real basketball. That's like basketball starting July 1st. I mean,
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be on TNT. I think it's gonna be on ESPN and NBA TV.
there's no way TNT is letting LeBron playing not going to be shown on TV.
Well, it's
There's
only
no
the
way. It makes too much money. You'll lose too much money.
I think it's only the teams that are out of the playoffs right now that are playing in it.
Oh, okay, never mind. All
Right,
right.
that's what I'm
Nobody wants to
saying.
see the Orlando Magic versus the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, that's why I don't
Uh,
think it's gonna get any mainstream coverage like
mhm.
TNT or anything like that. It's gonna get treated like summer ball, basically.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. Different show.
All right. So go ahead. We're on to the part that you wanted to add on. So I'm gonna
Um.
let you take over on that. The next promo.
Oh yeah. You come back from break to find out the Natural Nightmares will face Omega and Hangman next week. Why is Allie with QT? That is my question.
They've been leading up to this though. They've been leading up to it. It's been like 3 weeks. You keep seeing him in the crowd, and Brandy keeps hitting him, and is like, "Look, there's Dusty or Dustin. I love him." Or Cody.
Maybe they're setting it up to where Butcher and the Blade, like she turns on QT, causes the match. Butcher and the Blade attack him, like kind of deal. Like I don't know.
True. That's very true. I don't know, but it like threw me off. I'm like, wait, you have Matt Hardy, and who's playing 3 characters? Do I really have to watch Allie bad act her way through 2?
I mean, she can bad act all she wants. She looks really good doing it.
I know you're right. I don't want to admit you're right, but you're right. All right.
So I mean, yeah, and like Dustin really gave a heartfelt promo, and QT's just standing there with those hair plugs in his head, like, okay,
Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan of
yeah.
QT Marshall at all. All right, so we have the spot of the night. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back because it's on my background on my computer. We get Penelope Ford with Nyla Rose versus Sheeta, and Sheeta and the Alien. Yes, Nyla Rose is Penelope Ford's partner. That sucks.
Can we just state for the record that we are happy that Penelope Ford did the perfect suplex and not Nyla Rose?
Yes. Yeah, well, something with Frank and Beans would have fell right out.
The meat and potatoes, as you would have
The
said.
mean potatoes, as Jericho would say. She's really got the mean potatoes in there. Come on, Schiavone. Get in the show, man. Jesus. All right. So there was it was nothing special, I didn't think. It was okay. There were some sloppy parts of the match.
My first sentence of my note was match had no interest for me.
None. Penelope Ford was out there, and it was very interesting because my first thought was, wow, that's a nice top.
To state for the record for all the fans, Penelope Ford is my future ex-wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
Behind Anna Kendrick, but that's beside the point.
Hit your alarm. It's going off. It's the morning. All right. So, yes, very bad spots, very sloppy. Statlander did a clothesline at one point, and now the Rose fell forward. I don't get why. She just fell forward. I was like, wait, she clotheslined you. You have to like fall backwards.
It's just the weight of added body parts. That's it.
I was gonna say, did you fucking pull you forward? But yes,
but I do. The only thing that I say about this match that showcased the most was Sheeta's athleticism. Sheeta's like ran all over the ring. You know, was taking bumps for both Nyla Rose and Penelope Ford, and I mean, and Nyla Rose did actually do a big spot where she did that leg drop, and it was actually very, very good. Like with the double, where she laid Statlander and Sheeta over the.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, it looked cool, but it almost reminds me of when Sasha Banks does the double knees into the chest on the corner, where
Mhm.
she like jumps off the top rope and the girl's like holding herself up to get hit. They were like balancing on that top rope, and they're like, oh god, I'm gonna fall backwards. And they're holding themselves. They're like trying to stay. Why? Fucking fall forward. She'll miss. You win. Boom. There it is. I just wrote the match. But anyway, you want to talk about good moves? Yes, Sheeta had good moves. However, you had Penelope Ford do like that Matrix thing back
Yeah.
into the stunner. I was like, oh, and it was a clean stunner too. But she came down on the butt, just like Stone Cold used to do. It was a nice little stunner. And
Yeah,
who
she
took
is a
it?
stunner.
Who took it? Statlander took it, right?
Yes.
She kind of took it right. She hit the knees. She hit it better. She took it better than McMahon.
She took it
I'll
better
say
than every McMahon in history. Well,
Fucking
don't
Vince.
forget Linda McMahon. Linda McMahon, she just fell to the ground. She didn't even just fall to the mat. She just fell to the ground.
Can you imagine how Stone Cold feels? He's like, I've stunned everybody in the White House. At least two of them. Bring me a beer, damn it.
So,
Um,
yeah,
all
so
right.
Ford gets the win with the perfect plex
On Sheeta,
after hitting Sheeta with the belt.
yes, after hitting Sheeta with the belt. On Sheeta, which is big for the rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Very big for the rankings. Because if you remember, I believe
She was 5.
she was 5.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on, Chris. We have a new thing on the show called the Thrasher rating. And we didn't get the Thrasher rating for Butcher, Blade, and FTR. What was your Thrasher rating on that, sir?
If I can give 10 stars, I would, but our rating system only goes up to 5, so I give it a 5 star.
5-star match. We're going to call that the RVD match. 5-star.
The only reason why, because it fit my mold of a perfect wrestling match. Old school, hard nose, I mean, yeah,
4 dudes that don't flip. They fucking hit.
I mean, I like the high flies, big spots, and everything, but that was a classic wrestling match for me. It was brought me back to the '80s and early '90s. And to be honest, I did not like the revival in WWE.
No.
I think they just floundered because their style didn't match up well. It only matched up against Gallows and Anderson. That's it. But I think they're going to match up well against tag teams like Butcher and the Blade, Best Friends. I think Trent and Chuck will give them a great match.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be a good match. All right. Back to where we were. We had the perfect suplex from Penelope Ford on Tushita, and we had the greatest screenshot ever known to man created. And then that is it. That's it right there. Ford wins by hitting Sheeta with the belt, hitting the perfect suplex, and that's it.
The Thrasher rating for that is the match got a 1.25 star, but with added the perfect plex and the perfect screenshot, I give it a 3.
A 3-star match. That is a Thrasher smile. All right. So next we have another. Hey Chris, guess what this week had?
Another
promos.
Oh God, I
More
know.
promos. So the first
And a weird
promo,
one, by the way.
Hey, are you Tony Hawk? What? I saw that and I was like, that guy looks like Tony Hawk. Wait, fuck, that is Tony Hawk. Why? So the whole thing was Darby was like, I'm not allowed to compete tonight, but I don't care. And then he like says nothing else, walks away. You see Tony, and then you see him on top of a ladder, and he's like trying to drop in on a ladder. I don't know physics too well, but I think there's like this like piece of a skateboard like around that big that's gonna catch because a ladder comes down like this. It comes down at an angle. It doesn't go straight down, so it's gonna catch. And
well, you're forgetting the major part though. After Darby Allin walks away, Tony Hawk looks at him and goes, "We're not in wrestling. You're at my skate park. You're clear. There you go. You can skate." I'm like, what?
I don't get it, man. I know Darby's living a dream because that was probably so cool to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to like because he is a skateboarder and to be he's probably never met Tony Hawk before, so I'm sure he doesn't he was marking out. You know, it almost reminds me of when Jake the Snake came back like 7-8 years ago to Monday Night Raw, like old school Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Might not have been that long, but then he put the Snake on Dean Ambrose that time, and Ambrose is like smiling, but he's like not trying to smile.
Right.
It was really weird. So you know, those are always cool moments. Even wrestlers mark out when they like get like a spot or they meet someone they're not, you know, they never have. That's like an idol to their character. So that's kind of cool. So
oh, by the way, shout out to Tony Hawk. He's the original Birdman. Original Birdman.
Chris, I'm gonna let you take over on the Santana Ortiz match when we get there. But I'm just going to get the Britt Baker promo out of the way, and I'll let you comment on the match because I know your intel is going to be very nice on this match because I liked the match. I thought it was good. I thought the match should have ended the show. But before we get there, we have Britt Baker's promo about her wanting to be thanked for being a role model and how Big Swole is about, you know, crying over losses and shit like that. I like the Britt Baker character. I love a solid heel. I love someone who's I'm better than you. You know I'm better than you. That's my favorite type of wrestler. So I don't know. I thought it was good, but I know it's probably scored like a -4 on the Thrasher rating.
No, it's just I don't mind it if they called someone out that if she called someone out that was worthy of it. I guess
Big Swole's not. Yeah.
If she would have called Chris Statlander out or even Nyla Rose or something like that, then I can understand it. But it's Big Swole, you know.
Isn't that Rich Swann's girlfriend or wife or something?
No, that is Cedric Alexander's wife.
Cedric Alexander's wife. Oh, so we have a couple couples that are split up between the two companies. Now that I think about it, there's actually quite a few couples that are split up between the two companies. That's one. You have Dean and Renee, obviously. You have Zack Ryder,
Britt
Baker and Adam Cole. Zack Ryder and his girlfriend are split up, I think, because
Zack Ryder isn't on a show anywhere.
Well, okay, you know where he's gonna sign. That's not a secret. He's fucking Cody's best friend.
I don't know if he's gonna sign.
He's gonna sign. Did you hear the WWE asked him to use this pool? For that shot? He got upset. He's like, I wanted to cry. Shut the fuck up. What's wrong with you? Grow up, man. Jesus. Like, I didn't get it.
Yeah. It's WWE. Like,
what are you gonna do? All right, so next we have Santana and Ortiz and Hager versus Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. Jakara style Orange Cassidy. I can't get over this guy. But Chris, I'm gonna let you take over on this match. What do you got?
I loved it. Loved it. Not a 5-star match, but I'll give it a 4.25. It starts out Inner Circle gets the heel advantage to jump them early. I love Chuck and Trent as a tag team. With Orange as a a 6-man, it's okay, but I love Orange Cassidy during the middle of the match taking it over. I think that was great. I mean, and that showed a sign of him like it was a couple months ago in February at Revolution when he fought when he wrestled Pac. It shows he's dynamic and he's just not a character and and everything like that. Orange Cassidy, this is the second week out of like 3 that he gets the win with that roll up, that like Prince-l roll up.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I like it, but don't stop the momentum of a good match with that. I think that's the reason why I didn't care for it towards the end. That's why, I only gave it a 4.25, but I gave it a 4.25 for what after the match. Jericho comes down, helps Inner Circle pummel Best Friends. Jericho hits Cassidy with a bag of oranges.
That should have ended the match. That should have ended the night for me. I thought that would have been awesome. We talked about that earlier when we were talking on the phone. I think that should have ended the night.
Yeah, and my theory on that is, if you looked at the time after the match was over, it was 8:57, They go to commercial break. They come back. They come back to at the top of the hour, 9 o'clock. Jericho hitting them with oranges. It's just something to
Why
get the
couldn't
people to stay.
Why couldn't Cody be that? Cody's your TNT champion. I'm fighting every week. Do you have to be the fucking main event every week?
Hey, don't talk about our fan, okay? Yeah, he watches this podcast.
Oh, that's right. He does watch this podcast because he's stealing your ideas.
He is
on the triple threat, Matt Hardy.
Yeah, on the 3 stages of Hardy, he's
The
stealing
3 stages. I said triple threat. The 3 stages of Hardy. He stole that idea from us. You heard it here. You heard it here first, folks. 3 stages of Hardy was coming to life, and we called it. We knew it was coming, and they stole it from us.
A check could be made out. It's fine. It's fine, yeah, Cody.
You know,
20 season tickets to the Jacksonville Jaguars would be fine, and the suite is cool.
Yeah. I want near that pool.
Yeah. I just want to party with Gardner Minshew. That's it.
Dude, did you hear that fucking guy broke his own hand in college so he could stay in college? Did you read that story?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I just kept taking bottles of Jack to the face, and I'm just smashing my hand with a hammer. What, dude? You're fucking out of control, man.
So we come back from break with an interview with the Gun Club hijacked by MJF. I don't know where they're going with this. I hope it's nowhere fast because I don't want to see. As much as I hate MJF, I like him as a heel. He's the best heel in the business. I don't want to see him get drowned against the Gun Club and go on a feud against the Gun Club with Wardlow.
Well, the whole thing started off with, people want to reach the ceiling. He is the ceiling. He's the best you can get, which is good to his character. It plays that character, and then calling himself a great white shark, which is again good to his character. And then, I like the part where he told Billy Gunn, stop getting your scumbag, talentless kids jobs in this company, which was, kind of funny. I like it.
Oh, sidebar. It's not Billy Gunn, by the way. It's just
Billy.
Yes. Just Billy. They AEW tried getting around that and saying Billy and Austin Gunn, but Gunn can't be in the same name. It's got in the same sentence or phrase. It's got to be Billy, and then or Austin Gunn first. Now come in the ring, Austin Gunn and Billy.
Yeah. Look, next week, that's gonna be how they start the show.
100%.
That's how. Cody, write the check.
It's gonna be on AEW Dark on Tuesday. It's gonna be Austin Gunn and Billy. Whatever. Just Cody, just send me a check. Yeah. Let me come spend a weekend with you and Brandy, and you can film me.
And Brandy.
I'll give you a shot of brandy.
Next we have Guevara and Cabana. La Spanish God or whatever they call him.
It was the sex god.
The sex god. I thought it was the Spanish god.
No, Le Sex God is what he called him.
Le Sex God. No, it was Le Sex Gods was their tag team name.
Oh yeah.
That's what it was. Anyway, so Sammy, Sammy really need this win. Cabana losing is just only playing better to the Dark Order storyline.
Right.
So they're gonna keep Cabana losing until one night he's gonna lose, and then he'll bring out the mask, and he'll put that on, and he'll beat someone down, and then come out, and he's part of the Dark Order now.
Right.
It's gonna happen. They're laying the seeds for it. It's definitely gonna happen. But no, Sammy Guevara gets the win, and what was it? Who came out? Hardy, right?
Well, no. First, the Dark Order came out.
Brody Lee came out and helped him up, and then kind of walked away. Yeah.
And I like the way they played it too. Is the Dark Order went through one tunnel, and Cabana stood at the end of the ramp and looked at both tunnels and went to the tunnel and followed them. I think that was really cool.
Yeah, it's I like that tunnel thing. I liked it in TNA.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was always a good little touch. It definitely reminds me of TNA.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's this whole show almost feels TNA-esque to me. I don't know why, but I hope it doesn't. I hope that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm about to say. It's better, and I hope it doesn't take that turn that TNA took. where they start bringing in Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash and
Well,
Booker
Hogan's
T,
banned.
and Ric Flair.
Hogan's banned.
Dude, let me tell you something, okay? If Hogan walked in there and said, "I want to come on your TV," they're letting him on TV.
Well,
You are not stopping the biggest star in the world from going on your
If he
television.
comes on a TV, he's got a lot more problems than dropping an N-bomb into his
He already came on TV. You don't remember? I saw the video. I jerked it twice to it.
Yeah.
And he's hung like a horse. He thinks damned his knee. Jesus Christ.
But it's just not that just him that's the racist. It's his ex-wife is a racist too. So, but that's a whole different podcast.
You're right. It is a whole different podcast. But that woman doesn't know who this show is. That woman does not know who AW is.
But I'll tell you though, it's you're not going to see that and you're not going to see AEW make a TNA turn because they have wrestlers writing the show. They have wrestlers running the show and a wrestling fan, and Tony Khan helping create and write the show.
Wow, you know what that sounds like? That sounds like Dixie Carter, and that sounds like Monday Night Nitro, and letting a fan or the employees run the show. What happened to both those companies? Employees ran the show in WCW. What happened? That show went under very quickly. The Elite becomes the NWO.
No, just listen though. WCW was owned by Turner Broadcasting Systems, to where AEW is only owned by a football owner and a fan of wrestling, to where back in WCW, it was Kevin Sullivan, writing, and he wasn't really wrestling. You had Vince Russo writing. He was just a fan. Dixie Carter was just her family had money, and Jeff Jarrett turned to her to bail him and his daddy Jerry Jarrett out. That's it.
But with WCW, you saw what happened. Kevin Nash didn't want to lose. Kevin Nash didn't lose. Kenny Omega is the same way. What happens when Kenny Omega is tired of not being in the title run? You don't think he's going to throw a fucking pissy fit in the back and be like, I want this, I want that. And then him and Cody are going back and forth with egos. Everybody knows Cody has an ego. All it's going to take is for one wrestler in the back to have that ego back, and they're going to be like, no, fuck you. I'm better. I'm drawing more seats.
I don't think Kenny Omega is going to have an ego because he spent so much time in New Japan wrestling for the junior heavyweight title. I mean, he spent like 5 years straight wrestling for the junior heavyweight title, as you had Nakamura, Tanahashi wrestling for the heavyweight championship, and he just was junior heavyweight. Yeah. And he never tried. And they had a bunch of talent, and he never showed any animosity towards anybody. So I just think that's the way Omega is. He's what's good for the business. I don't think you're gonna get that from Omega. I think you're right. I think Omega just goes with the flow on a lot of things. But I would not mind to see Kenny Omega versus Moxley for a title, or Kenny Omega versus Brian Cage for the heavyweight title when they drop the belts, the tag belts.
Yeah, it's coming. But anyway, so you had Matt Hardy come out on Sammy Guevara, and Sammy Guevara starts saying random words to him, and he says the word delete or broken. He said the word broken, and right after he said the word broken, that is where Broken Hardy comes out. Delete, like 50 fucking times.
No. He said the word fax, and then that's when Matt Hardy turned into version 3.0 and started giving the Matt fax.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, and then he said broken, and then that turned him into Broken Hardy. So, I
want to cut you up and eat you like Mondongo.
And then you have a promo after that, another one.
Oh, by the way, the Cole Cabana and Sammy G match was actually very good. I gave it 3 stars.
Did you?
I gave it 3. It was a clash of 2 styles. And I think it was very, very good. It was very well done.
Yeah, it was a good match. It was a lot of, Cole Cabana's been in the company, or been in the business, I should say, for over 20 years. I mean, the guy's been doing it for years. So I remember some of the matches him and CM Punk had back in the day.
And Kevin Steen. Steen.
Yeah. So it really sucks because they had him in WWE, and he could have been great. But McMahon wanted to make him look like a fool. And gave him, what was his name? Goldstein?
Scotty Goldman.
Scotty Goldman. That was it.
Do you know
So
the reason why his name was Scotty Goldman? Because his real name is Scotty Colton. So
okay.
they didn't want it to be Scotty Colton because it sounded too plain. So that's why they made him, and he's Jewish in real life. So that's why they made him the Jewish savior, Scotty Goldman.
Fucking Vince, man. Oh my god.
That's mid 2000s. That's mid 2000 Vince.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
So then we go to a promo with Jelly Nutella taking shots of water at a bar.
It was
this
Jose
guy,
Cuervo
man.
1800. Okay.
No, it was not. No, it was not. And then he gets in the car with some dude.
Sunny kiss.
Fuck you, Chris. I'm done. I'm done with this, man. This is horrible. Why
on
are these people on my TV?
On the next episode of Wrestling Paradox Podcast, I actually think that's actually going to be a really good tag team if they mold together. I'm actually going to really like that. It's going to be innovative. I can tell you that. It's not going to be, a normal tag team. I'm interested to see where that goes.
No, yeah. There's nothing about Joey Janela that does anything for me. I feel like I'm watching Superhuman on TNT. Like these two people, Joey Nutella does not belong on TNT. He does not belong on national television. There's nothing about him that is physically, he does not look presentable to a company. And second, like if I'm a new fan and you show me that guy, I'm gonna be like, yo, I could beat that guy up on a regular Tuesday afternoon. I mean, Enzo did it at a Blink 182 concert. Or no, Jelly ran away. But you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah, this guy, like, how do you expect me to believe the day that he ran away from Enzo at Blink 182? And this isn't giving a shout out to Enzo. Fuck Enzo Amore. But the day he ran away from Enzo was the day I was like, yo, that guy's a little puss. Like, why? And now I'm supposed to believe that he can go heads up with someone like the Butcher, the Blade. He can go heads up with Cody. No, this guy ran away from someone who's fucking 5'3" and thinks he's a rapper.
He's the real one.
All right, Tamatonka. All right, so go ahead, Chris. I know you probably enjoyed this promo because they finally did what I told them to do. Send me the check, Cody. Send me the check. I know you're watching this show.
Hey, you missed something.
What?
Backstage, you come back from break, and Colt Cabana's walking backstage, and he's shown walking into Brody Lee's locker room.
Yes, you are correct. They are mixing old school and new school. Whatchamacallit? Dark Order.
I'm just letting you know there's a lot of similarities from what happens with Colt Cabana in this episode of AEW to what happens in NXT last night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll go over that in a little bit. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, we have that promo on Mox, which I've been calling it since last week that Brian Cage needs to get his hands on Mox.
And did he ever?
Did he? He beat the shit out of Mox last night and ended it with a great spot. Spot. Throwing him on the car window, smashing that whole car window, and that looked good. Looked like a solid spot.
Well, it was a lot better than in your house fucking throwing through a window. I can tell you that.
It was definitely a shot at NXT. Definitely a shot. This is how you break a car window.
What was great, what I think played that whole like promo up is when he gets done beating up Mox and he goes for the slam on the car, and Taz goes, no, enough, don't, enough. We made our point, and he goes back and he still does it. I think that made it even that elevated it, like took it to a whole new level.
Well, that showed you that Cage can't really be controlled.
Right.
That's what it's telling us. Cage, he's more of a mouthpiece than somebody who controls Cage.
Right.
And that's almost what Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman were.
Right.
If you think about it. Brock Lesnar did whatever the fuck he wanted to do. Heyman was just there to, hold the title and tell everybody how great Brock was.
Right.
So that's what you're getting from that.
Well, you also got, and I don't know if you saw it or you picked up on it. When they zoomed in on Mox on the back windshield, the back window, after he picks his head up and he puts his head back, he puts his head through the windshield again. I mean, the back window again. And that's when he's like, "Oh fuck!" like that.
Was there a MAGA hat in the back of that window too? I think I saw one. Whose car was that? Was that Cody Rhodes' car?
We all know he drives a Raptor.
Dude, with his own logo on the side. He's such a fucking mark for himself. God.
Oh, next transition, we got Cody Rhodes and Mark Quinn.
Oh, here we go. And guess where, people? In the main events. Cody, we get it. Nobody liked you anywhere else in WWE, wherever you were, Ring of Honor. Now you own your own company, and you have to book yourself in the main event. We know you're Dusty's son. Cool. Get over it. Like, this kid is a narcissist. He is a narcissist. He went from, I'll never have a mid-card title, to having a mid-card title, now holding it, and now being in the main event every week.
I don't care what you say about Cody Rhodes. He does put on good matches.
I don't know.
You can hate him all you want.
He does. Okay, he puts on decent matches, but it's like, bro, that OC match with Best Friends versus Inner Circle could have easily been the main event. Go off the air beating the shit out of somebody with oranges. Why couldn't Cody carry in the 9 o'clock hour?
Because of the fact that then you wouldn't play into the storyline at the end of the match.
How? What are you talking about?
When the show is off the air. Yeah.
Why can't you have Hager come out earlier in the night? What? They do that all the time in wrestling.
No, you can't. You because the fact that you're not gonna have him come out early, get physical, and then come out for a match later. It doesn't write well in a story.
I guess.
But I think the match was very interesting. Because I've never seen Cody wrestle someone that leaves their feet as much as Quinn. It was a great move where Cody goes for the springboard and Sagiri and Quinn hits a midair drop kick. They both were like 5 feet up off the ground.
Yeah.
And it was really, really well done. And Cody, again, you may not like it that he wins and, he goes on last and everything like that, but he puts over the talent. Like, may not letting them win, taking the losses, but he makes them look good.
But, they went to picture-in-picture, and they show Cody, like, beating the shit out of Quinn's leg, playing that ankle injury from last week. And it's, we forgot to mention, Hardy Party. Matt Hardy came out with them, Private Party, which was kind of funny to watch. But anyway, so Cody is showing these heel tendencies and these heelish moves all through the match. Like, is that almost... He's almost leading up something. In the ring.
I think it's leading up to something.
The ring. Yeah, it is leading up to something. He's healing the ring, but he's, picking him up at the end of the match. And I'm sorry, it was just competitor in me, blah, blah, blah. Like, come on, man.
I think it's leading up to something, and I think it's going to lead up to something big. I don't know when. I have a big feeling that's going to be a heel turn.
Of course it's going to be a heel turn. He almost reminds me of John Cena now. He's so over it on himself that he's becoming a heel to everybody else.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if you don't see a heel turn from Arn Anderson on Cody.
A nice little spine buster to, like, cost him the title?
Either that and then that's when you see Arn Anderson, like, managing FTR.
Now, let me ask you a question. Cody told Jake Hager last night, you have a match at Fighter Fest. So does that mean between now and Fighter Fest, he's not defending the title every week on the Open Challenge? Because now we're guaranteed Cody and Hager. What's the point of having Fighter Fest? Or what's the point of having matches leading up to Fighter Fest?
I think what you're going to have is next week. Didn't they release the matches for next week on Dynamite? I think, isn't Cody in a tag match?
Oh, so he doesn't have an open challenge every week like he said. Oh, because I remember John Cena did. Every week for like 3 months, John Cena had an open title match.
Right.
So
But
Cody's not really doing. Okay,
hey,
all right.
like I told you on the phone today, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Okay, so let me ask you a question to our fan who called me out on not liking Cody Rhodes. Do you see why I don't like Cody Rhodes now? Do you understand? This guy is he goes back on everything he says. No mid-card title. And then now I'm going to compete it every week, and now I'm in a tag match this week. No, man, compete every week. Let's see what you got. Hey, Hager, if I'm still champ by Fyter Fest comes.
Don't quote me on the tag match, but I would just think the way it ended last night. I thought I saw that it was going to be a tag match. I'm not sure, but I mean, you never know. He could not be wrestling and then give a promo next week saying, Cody, don't use it word for word because I don't want to have to sue you, but he can come out and say that, oh, I'm, blah, 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 I'll shoot on Hager, blah, blah, blah. Then it's like Sammy G comes out and says, oh, I want a shot at the TNT title next week or tonight or some shit like that.
If that happens, we're fucking suing so heavy. They're going to get a postal letter with our fucking logo printed right on top of it.
Cease and desist.
The cease and the blurred out shirts. I have one of the Young Bucks doing it. All right. So where does that match rank in the Thrasher household?
I give it 3.5.
Okay. All right.
It was a good match.
I don't give it the
was
half.
a really good
It
match.
doesn't earn the half for me. It gets 3.
I think Mark Quinn gives it the half. I mean, if it was just anybody else, I think it would have been just a 3. But I think Mark Quinn selling the injury, like he oversold it. And unlike at In Your House with Keith fucking Lee doing an Irish whip, that hand that was worked over, and he just doesn't shoot the pain. Mark Quinn, every time he took a step on that foot, he sold that foot.
So now you like only certain types of skinny black guys. Cool. Got it. All right. So we move into AEW was few. We are moving into NXT. And we open up with, I believe, Adam Cole and Adam Cole, baby. Versus Chris, I haven't been recording this whole time. No, I'm joking, bro. I'm joking. We open up with Adam Cole, baby, and the Undisputed Era and how Adam Cole is over. Oh, wait, before we go any further, don't forget to like and subscribe right here on YouTube at Podcast Paradox on Twitter. We are sending out shirts, sending out stickers, whatever you guys need, whatever you guys want, we have it. See that beautiful logo behind Chris? It's coming right here on a sticker right there. And don't forget to like and subscribe to every video that you see. And make sure you leave a comment telling us how you feel. Next week, we have a special guest on the show. Our boy Aaron is coming in for the Saturday show. Our topic night this week consists of greatest tag teams.
Well, no, it's not greatest tag teams. It's going to be
top
subjective.
5.
It's going to be subjective. 5. It's whatever we feel. So it's not going to be, top tag teams. It's all going to be subjective because
all subjective.
It's not going to be like top tag teams. It could be like mid-carders or jobbers that always lost.
Can the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and Dudley Boys all tie for first?
No,
because if so, I have 7 tag teams. If I can have a 3-way tie in first, I have 7.
I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know that I'm gonna give 5, and I'm gonna give 1 from every federation.
Every federation, so WWF, ECW, WCW, ROH, and Impact, or
Impact.
Impact. So none from AEW.
No, because we talk on Wednesday nights about AEW and NXT.
Okay, so we're just skipping over AEW. Like AEW doesn't have the greatest tag team, the Sex Gods.
Hey, I'm just letting you know that this is all what I'm doing. You can do whatever you want.
Okay. All right. So we open up with Adam Cole, baby, and Undisputed Era. Cole says he is done with the dream and coming back to reality. And we have then Roddy all upset running in and talking about Dexter Lumis.
And then we
see Dexter. Yeah. And then we see Dexter Lumis, standing outside the glass like he's peeping on my 13-year-old sister in the other room.
She's 31.
I flipped her upside down once in a while. Uh, uh, so it's a little interesting. Go ahead, Chris. Take over. Give me Gargano.
Um, you go through the whole opening segment with Adam Cole and and everything like that, and Roddy frantically saying, "Oh, Loomis is in the crowd. Loomis is in the crowd." But when Cole and Fish turn, he'd be gone. So that just means like Dexter Loomis is a very good at playing hide and seek. uh, but Loomis was indeed there. He was shown in the crowd, and Yui saw him. But I mean, that just what I didn't like about that is if you have this big backlot brawl, why do you just glass over Velveteen Dream?
Yeah.
Like I don't get that. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. I mean, and then they announced that the main event left for last night was Loomis versus Adam Cole for non-title.
Yeah, I wasn't too big of a fan of that match. I mean, I like Dexter Loomis. He's kind of growing on me a little bit, but we'll see what happens. We'll get to that when we get there. First, we got to talk about Gargano and Candice LeRae.
Well, no. What I wanted to talk about, though, remember when I said about Cabana?
Excuse me, sir.
With Cabana and them following him around and like bringing on the story, like telling the story of the whole show. NXT did this with twice. They did it with Roddy when he was shown in the back hyperventilating about seeing Dexter Loomis, because remember he was kidnapped in the backlot brawl. He was shown hyperventilating. So they're telling the story. They're continuing telling the story from another show, which I think is awesome. I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
That's why Vince owns both shows. I'm sticking to my conspiracy. Sticking to the conspiracy. God, can we get into this first match, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because it's one of my favorite matches. I love Keith Lee, and I love Gargano working together. They wrestle so well with each other.
So for the 3,047th time, Keith Lee and Mia Yim versus Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae.
Not upset.
We've only seen it 3 times this week.
Not upset. It's fine.
But you complain about Cody Rhodes being on, having a title and being on TV.
No. This is not opening. This is opening the show. This is not closing your show. This is not your go home match. I don't want to hear that. No, there's a huge difference. We're in AEW. We're done with AEW. We're on NXT. Fuck Cody Rhodes. Fuck his whole family with a lisp. I'm talking about NXT right now. Okay.
His grandfather was a plumber.
I don't care. And his daddy had hard times, baby. Hard times. So you have this match. All the wrestlers had their time to shine, which I did like. This match was very well put together. You had the women take over, you had the men take over, and then you had a mixture of the men and women at the end. They told a good story all the way through. They stuck to the story. Keith Lee playing the eye, playing the hand, and Gargano. It was all around a good telling story. They're putting chapters in a book. We talked about this before with rivalries. You had chapters in a book, and this is one of the chapters in that book. But it looks like now Keith Lee might be trying to move on to
greener pastures.
I'm not going to give away any spoilers for the end of the show, but you have Keith Lee trying to go after Adam Cole for the title now, it looks like, stepping in on that.
Yeah. I did like how the match ended, though. I like Gargano and LeRae, but like kept the heel persona. Like when LeRae got the took that bump from Lee, and Lee was like trying to help her up, and then that's how the match ended. I think that was really, really cool.
Yeah, that's what I have here. Gargano wins with a roll up while Lee is trying to help LeRae up after he hurts her. And then, I said Gargano knows how to play the heel role very well. He's a very good heel. Everybody loved him as a babyface when he was going against Ciampa, and then he totally turned to 180 and he became this heel character. So it's very nice to see. So on the Thrasher household, where are we ranking this match?
Give it a 3.
A 3? Okay. I'll take a solid 3 from you. I honestly, my first guess you were going to say 2.5 because you saw this shit for the past 3 weeks. All right.
Yeah,
so
I mean, but it's just I don't know. It's nothing new to me.
Yeah. So Next, we have the morning breakfast drink, Indus Sure, versus Mike Reed and Mikey Del Bray.
No, you forgot something.
What? I don't forget anything.
Backstage, Cameron Grimes was being interviewed about his upcoming match with Damian Priest, and then Damian Priest showed up and jumped him from behind.
You want to say that again?
Cameron Grimes was giving a backstage interview, and Damian Priest came up from behind and attacked him. But what was great was Grimes was giving that, "Oh, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me," and then Priest just decked him, and it hit him pretty hard, and it plays to another story later that night. Like that's what I said. This last night was on both shows was elongating stories. Elongating stories. And then
Grimes reminds me of Cassius Ohno and Brian Kendrick kind of mixed together a little bit.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think Cameron Grimes, if you don't know indie wrestling, who's Trevor Lee, I'm pretty sure Trevor Lee and David Starr wrestled a match for 107 minutes.
107 minutes.
Yeah, it was a charity like wrestling. It was like for
almost 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because David Starr and his ring entrance, the ring announcer always says he's the 107-minute man.
Yo, I read a thing about a wrestling match that went like 26 hours or some bullshit. I swear. I was reading it on. I'm a part of this app called WrestleFeed. Quick shout out. Send me a check. They give you like little updates on what's happening in the main rosters and all these younger rosters and the wrestling shows that nobody knows about. And one day I got a pop up that said a wrestling match ends after 26 hours. And I'm like, what the fuck? These guys go home and like take a nap together or
26 hours, huh? Sounds like my. Oh, okay. Well, next match we get the Insure. So yeah, next match you get Indusure, which sounds like a 90s R&B like group.
No, I said a morning breakfast drink. I thought it was a shake.
It's a Bobo brand. I don't really know anything about them. I mean, I've seen them come out on TV, And
are they Samoan? Is that what they are? Are they Samoan?
I don't know. I'm not typecasting.
I'm not either, but I thought they were the Rock's cousins.
I'm not typecasting. It's 2020. I'm not typecasting anybody.
They're about the same size as Nia Jax. It was a quick squash match.
They could be Nia Jax's left and right thigh. I don't know.
Dude. That's a big woman. I'd spend one night, Nia.
Nyla.
Nia. We are talking about NXT again, sir. This is the Wars. Don't you know what show we're on?
Sorry.
This was a squash match. Ended very, very quickly. I don't know. Your Thrasher household rating, sir?
A dud. It did nothing for me.
Yeah, it's one of those squash
Hold on,
matches.
let me give them.
L7 wiener. So then we have announced for next week, we have Imperium versus Breezango.
Well, no, you forgot something else.
Oh God, I am all over the place. Look, the baby had a long night, man. It was bad.
You had the trainer Drake Mertz on the hunt for Regal. He was FaceTiming, trying to see, and Regal was trying to FaceTime him to see how Cameron Grimes was, because no one can find him. So they're running through the hallway, and he's looking for him, and he turns the corner, and there's Cameron. Cameron Grimes was saying that he had a broken jaw, and he couldn't wrestle, and everything like that. Well, turn the corner, and there he is talking to the women's division, and he's flirting with them, and the women are all over him, and Regal sees this on FaceTime and says, "No, you're wrestling." So I think that was, and because he was wrestling Finn Balor.
Yeah, I like that William Regal is still there. I like that. He really leaves that old school feeling, like taste in my mouth about wrestling from when it was good.
I want to see a doctor for that.
Dude, it's just I'm giving visualizations to people. I want people
I
to
don't need to
see
see
William
visuals.
Regal putting a taste in my mouth.
Yeah, you don't want to see that. I think that's called chlamydia. I mean,
Claps.
he is a man's man, so
You know, the Queen. Anyway, so we have Imperium and Breezango announced for next week. Is that
Mhm.
what is that going to take place at Backlash or on NXT?
I don't know.
Because I put in my notes, I might have just kind of been ripped a little bit, but I put in my notes Imperium versus Breezango Sunday.
I don't think it shouldn't be on Backlash.
Yeah.
Then after that, you get Rhea Ripley snubbing the Robert Stone brand.
This is like our fourth promo on the show, by the way, guys. We're at like 7 on the night.
And let's just say that last night's episode drug out. So glad there's a fast forward button.
Exactly. You have Robbie shoved. Then we come into Balor. Recently, I found out it's Prince Devitt. Did you know it was Prince Devitt? I thought it was Prince Devitt this whole time.
No, it's Devitt because his real name's Fergie. Fergie. It's actually it's Fergie Devitt.
Fergie Devitt.
That's his real name.
Cool. Prince Devitt versus Cameron Grimes in a rematch. This is not the rubber match. They will probably have the rubber match next week, I'm sure. But in the rematch, you had Brent. I was gonna say Brent Grimes.
With his wife as manager.
Oh God, that guy's going downhill quick. He's gonna be on the Lions next year. So yes, you had Prince Balor or Finn Balor, the Prince, versus Cameron Grimes. Balor was looking to get revenge. That's then you had Balor win with the 1916. I like the reverse 1916 more than I like the 1916. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think the reverse version looks harder. I thought he should have won it on that spot, or at least he should have ended the match on that spot. So I don't know. It's
and
it's almost like the springboard stunner and the springboard cutter and the twist of fate.
Right.
The springboard cutter should win the match, not the twist of fate. The reverse 1916 should have won a match, not a 1916. They're basically both the same move being done. It's just one's just tweaked a little different.
I think what threw me for a loop was I figured with Balor beating Priest and at In Your House, I thought he would have called out Cole for the title to be in the title scene again, but then he calls out Keith Lee, which was, I don't know, that kind of threw me for a loop there.
Yeah, you can't fit through a loop.
A hula loop.
I smoked the loopy loop. All right, so what happened? Oh wait, where's this match rank on the Thrasher household scale?
I give it a 3.
A 3.
Yeah. I can let you know no matches on this card actually really gave me any like joy. They were good. I like the stories that they portrayed.
Well, I like Finn Balor calling out Keith Lee. That was interesting to me.
Yeah.
He's gonna go after the NXT title. He very well could be the man to take it off Keith Lee and send Keith Lee. But Keith Lee is the type of wrestler that I can see that he will flourish. They're being heed my instructions. Headed. No, he would definitely flourish on the main roster. He is one of those big guys who can do well on the main roster. I wish he would have got more time to show that. He got all the time in the world at what's it called, Survivor Series, but at Royal Rumble he really didn't get much to show, which kind of bothered me a little bit. But he looked good going up against Brock Lesnar. That match was funny to me or that spot of the match, he came out and he said, Brock Lesnar was like, "Who the fuck is that guy? It's a big motherfucker," and you can see him saying that, so it was kind of funny to me.
Right.
But all right, go ahead.
So now you have Casey Castarzo. I don't know. I can't even say her name. And versus Dakota Kai. Catanzaro.
Zorro.
All I know, that's Marty Scurll's girlfriend. So.
Yes. And she loses to Dakota Kai.
I mean, Dakota Kai's being pushed right now. I don't think Casey Costanzo is getting a win.
Cat Zero.
Yeah. Cat Zero.
All right. Thrasher household?
Dud.
Give me the thumbs down. There it is. All right. So next we have, I believe, do we have a promo in between that? I don't remember.
You get the coronation and death of El Hero del Fantasma.
Phantasma. You have Drake Maverick coming out.
Mm-hmm.
They're shaking hands, agreeing on a second match. Then the masked kidnappers,
the assailants,
they come out. And then Phantasma turns to Drake as Drake is staring them down, attacks Drake. They do the double pop off the top rope. Looks really cool. They did it really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then Phantasma takes off the mask to reveal that he is, was it Santana Escobar?
Yeah, Pablo's little brother.
Pablo's little sister. Brother, sorry. We have to have that. There we go. Greatest unmaskings. Was there any good unmaskings ever?
Yes.
Hoovy?
No. Cyclope.
Dean Malenko.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then it is given that the winner will face the winners of a tag match for the women's championship next week on NXT. They are going to face Tegan Knox and who was it? Shotzi, the Tank Blackheart.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens.
Does nothing for me.
I don't think Shotzi Blackheart should be anywhere near a title, but because they're putting titles down there, it would not surprise me if they put the women's championship down there and gave it to Tegan Knox.
Right.
Would not surprise me one bit. Tegan Knox deserves it. I don't think Shotzi does. I would have liked to see Tegan Knox team up with Raquel Gonzalez instead through all this, but that didn't happen. So, and then we have Adam Cole
and Dexter Lumis.
So, let's hear it. What you got?
It was a weird match. Roddy wouldn't even look like he wouldn't give the boom entrance. He was just like standing, like he was very, again, tells the story that he was just like on edge about Lumis and everything like that, which I think is pretty cool.
Has Roddy's time expired in UE?
You know, as much as I love Roddy Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Adam Cole, I think the time of as UE has expired. I would not mind seeing Red Dragon reform, just Red Dragon, and then Roddy Strong being, the natural again, Roddy Strong, and then Adam Cole just being Adam Cole.
Yeah, they all go off on their own ways, which they almost remind me of like a new school, more. I can't say more fancy because the Horsemen did it fancier than anybody, but they all knew their spots. Right. That's why they were draped in gold.
Right.
So that was a cool thing that they did with them, especially you had Roddy going off to the North American. Cole was doing his thing with the title, and then you had Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly doing their thing with the title,
right?
Tag title. So they all knew their spot, which was really cool. And then at the end of that match, after UE helps
Cole win,
then you have Setting Goes Black, Spotlight, Scarlet, walking down, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, and then she puts an hourglass, not an aeroglass, hourglass.
An hourglass does not go tick tock. I can tell you that right
it goes ding 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 ding. So sands.
And we talked on the phone earlier, and I said it would have been cool if they would have put like a clock, like the Boogeyman or something like that, in the ring, and that would have been cool.
Yeah, that's a match I'm definitely looking forward to. So you start off the night with Keith Lee eyeing the heavyweight or the NXT championship, and then ends with Keith Lee and Balor going at it for the North American, and Cross versus Cole. Now, speaking of Cross, we missed something. Ciampa just leaves, drives home in his Jeep. That's it. So is Ciampa done for a little bit? Do we see him on the main roster at some point? Does he stay in NXT? Where does Ciampa go from here?
Yeah, I don't know. But when I was watching, going back to in your house and watching Karrion Kross, I'm thinking if he doesn't make it as a singles, who he can be an actual really good tag team with, Aleister Black. That would be an awesome dark tag team.
Yeah, that definitely would.
With Scarlett being their valet, I think would be an awesome tag team. With
AEW taking over on the tag teams, because there's no doubt about it. AEW has the better tag teams right now.
Hands down.
And then then you have, like we said before, you have NXT winning in the cruiserweight division and the women's spots. So there's ups and downs to every show. So with AEW winning that, do we get DIY reformed in this new dark heel manner?
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. As a fan, do you want to see it again?
I loved it. I loved DIY together. They were great.
Yeah,
they were great. There was no doubt about it. They were one of the top tag teams in the world at the time.
Yeah, but look who they had to go against, though.
You're right. The tag teams then were a lot better than the tag teams now.
Right. So you had like AOP, you had all these guys.
What tag teams do they really have down in AEW still? They don't have AOP anymore.
No, you're talking about NXT.
Or NXT. Yeah. All you have is Larkin and Birch, who can't win. You had to bring back Breezango as your secret tag team, your special tag team in this match.
That's what I'm saying. Is like there's really no one that they can have really good.
They can have good matches with Imperial. They had good matches with Danny Burch and Larkin. Like they were around that time. So it's interesting. We'll see where it goes. I would not mind it one bit if they got together. I could definitely see it happening. So we'll see what happens, man. I don't know. All I know that's going to happen is that everybody who made it to the end of this show, you better like and subscribe to this video. See those words right there under Chris? Yes, that is right. Chris, you got to talk. Show him the camera.
Right there.
Yep, that's what she said. We follow us on Twitter at Podcast Paradox, on YouTube right here at the Wrestling Paradox Podcast. Once again, shirts are available. Hit us up if you guys want some shirts.
Look at where I've been come. Look at what I've been.
Hey, man, it's going to be a fun time. This is the 6th episode, I believe. We have a bonus episode for the DVD. Don't forget.
Yeah, it's archived. It's never to be seen. Never to be seen.
It's going to die on my laptop. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up for tonight. If you guys have any questions, comments, whatever you got, leave them in the comment section. Tell me how beautiful I am.
If you have any complaints or concerns or anything like that, just go to our HR department.
Yeah. And then you could take that, write on a piece of paper, turn it sideways, and shove it up your candy ass.
Stick it up your butt.
All right. That's it. We are wrapping it up, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you Saturday.